Hi, my name is Tiana Karamayas and I'm a Cavoodle puppy coach and breeder for Noodle Way and River City Puppies. As a coach, my philosophy is simple. A Cavoodle should always complement your lifestyle, not complicate it. And this is the foundation to everything I teach. For almost the past decade, I have been working in the breeding, training, grooming, and veterinary sectors of the small animal industry. I've also been raising Cavoodles for the past 16 years, so I have definitely learned a thing or two about the breed along the way. Now this podcast is all about Cavoodles. Raising Cavoodles, training Cavoodles, grooming Cavoodles, breeding Cavoodles, and how to shape the behaviour of a Cavoodle puppy. So, if you're a Cavoodle parent or you are looking at adding a Cavoodle to your family soon, then this podcast is for you. New episodes will be released each Tuesday morning, and you can follow me across all social media under the name @OodleWay for more tips and advice on Cavoodles. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, welcome back to episode 41 of the Cavoodle Coach podcast. My name is Tiana Karamayas and I'm your host. In today's episode, I want to talk about pet insurance again, but I want to talk about it from the perspective of whether or not it has been worth it for Joey. So Joey is 8 months old now. We've been paying for his pet insurance for 6 months. And so what I have done is I've gone ahead and I have added up everything we have spent on him at the vet, and then I have added up how much we have claimed back with pet insurance, and then I'm going to share whether or not it has been worth it. And I'm hoping this will help the families out there who are umming and ahhing on whether or not they should get pet insurance. So let's dive into it. I have a whole bunch of numbers. I'm going to give you the exact dollar amount, so I hope that interests some of you. So the first thing I want to say is we started pet insurance for Joey back in September of 2024, so 6 months ago. His pet insurance costs us $100.43 a month, and that gives us 90% coverage across his vet bills, but we do have a $100 excess. And what this means is if there is a new condition that we are going to be claiming for, every time a new condition arises, you have to pay a $100 excess first before you can start getting your 90% back for the other money spent in the invoice. So that's the plan that we have him on. I know I get questions all the time on who I have insurance with. And I did another episode on pet insurance last year, and I didn't share the company that I am using. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to share who I am with. But what I would like to say is pet insurance has to be a very personal decision. You can't just go based off of someone else's recommendation. You really do have to read through all of the fine print, make sure it's exactly what you are looking for and exactly what you're comfortable with paying. So don't just go based on what my recommendation is here or who I am with. You can definitely look into this company. I have done a lot of research on a lot of companies here in Australia, and I do really love this one, and it has been great so far. But again, please just do your own research. And if you are wanting to know what I do or what I look for to come to my decision on which company to choose, I go through all of these steps with all of the families who have joined my Cavoodle Puppy Planner program. So in the puppy preparation section of the program, we go through pet insurance. I talk about what you need to make sure the company covers you for, how to choose your excess, what coverage amount you should do, ways that pet insurance will catch you out, and things to look out for. So if you are getting a puppy and you want help on deciding that, definitely click the link in the show notes and have a look into my Cavoodle Puppy Planner program. There is a very big preparation module in the program to make sure you are fully prepared for the arrival of your puppy. And then obviously we get into all of the training once you bring your puppy home. So that's in the show notes and I go through all of that. But for my pet insurance, the company I am with is called Trupanion Australia. So Trupanion is a company from America that came to Australia a few years ago. I'm so sorry. I've been having a problem with my Mac for a long time where I put it on Do Not Disturb, I put it on silent, and then the messages still come through. So I'm so sorry. But yes, Trupanion is an American company. It's very big in America. It recently came to Australia, and it just has a really great plan. I really love everything it has going for it. I think it's really good value for money. And yeah, that's what I'm with all of my puppies. So Trupanion Australia, we pay $100.43 a month for Joey. Times that by all of the dogs I have, and you'll work out how much I actually pay in insurance for all of my dogs. It's quite a lot. And I will say, I still stand by that pet insurance is 100% worth it. And that's a lot to say when I spend over $400 a month in pet insurance across all my dogs. So let's continue this episode. I'm going to start going through all the nitty-gritty numbers, and I'll let you know how much we've paid for Joey, how much we've gotten back, and whether or not it has been worth our money. So we have the insurance. Now, with the pet insurance, it covers any accidents and any illnesses. What it won't cover, though, is things like your consults. It won't cover things like nail trims. It won't cover things like deciduous canine removal. So that's when a puppy hasn't lost all of their puppy teeth, but the adult teeth are growing through. And so you have to physically remove one of the puppy teeth in surgery. So it doesn't cover some things like that. And that's why when it came to choosing which clinic I wanted to go to. We recently moved houses, not recently, almost 2 years ago. When we moved houses, I was looking at the different vet clinics in our area. And one of the things I really wanted to make sure was they offer some kind of wellness plan that is worth my money, but then also provides me with coverage for all of the things pet insurance doesn't cover you for. So pet insurance, it's for the accidents, it's for the illnesses, but it doesn't really cover the day-to-day stuff. But the wellness plan I am with through my vet clinic, it is called Best for Pet, and there is the Best for Pet program is owned by a big company that has vet clinics all over Australia. So if you Google Best for Pet program, it'll have a list there of all of the clinics that use this program, and you can have a look if there's one in your area. It is a fantastic program. It is definitely 100,000% worth it when you have a puppy for that first year, or if you have an adult dog and you're planning to get their teeth cleaned. In both ways, it becomes definitely worth your money to get that. And so with that Best for Pet program, I also pay an additional $45 a month for it. And what that gives me, it gives me unlimited free consults across the year. It gives me a free blood test. It gives me 10% off professional services by the vet. It gives me 4 free nail trims. It gives me free deciduous canine removals. So Joey had to have some teeth removed, some baby teeth. That was for free. It also covers you for $250 for off a dental procedure. So if you are getting your puppy's teeth cleaned or your adult Cavoodle teeth clean, that can be really, really helpful because a dental is upwards of, usually $600. So that's really helpful. So my Best for Pet program, 100% worth it. I pay $45 a month, and then I pay the $100 a month for insurance. So all up, we're paying $145 a month for Joey to cover him for literally anything that could happen to him. So that's what we're spending for the insurance side of things for Joey. We have done it for 6 months. So we started it when he was 8 weeks old, and now he is just turning 8 months now. So we've paid for 6 months worth. And so the total we have paid is $602.58 for pet insurance and $270 for the Best for Pet program, giving us a total spend on insurance of $872.58 across 6 months. So that's what we've spent. Now I'm going to get into what has been done at the vets with Joey, what invoices he has, and how much we have spent through that. And then I'll let you know at the end how much we have saved with what the pet insurance and Best for Pet covers. So the first big bill we had for Joey, I didn't mention, but the Best for Pet program also gives you free vaccinations. So Joey has 3 puppy vaccinations. All of them are, I believe they were $140 each. So we got those for free. So those were the first 2 things Joey had. So 2 puppy vaccinations for free at $140 each, which means we had a saving of $280. Let me add that on. I completely forgot about that until now. Let me just add that on, $280 in vaccines, so I can give you the proper number at the end. So the first invoices that we had for Joey were his 2 puppy vaccines, $140 each. Then Joey went in for his desexing. So in his desexing, I've got the invoice here so I can let you know. So what the desexing procedure includes was, this is what all vets do. They really, really, really try and get you to do a blood test first before they put your dog under anesthetic, just to make sure there's nothing in the blood test results that would complicate the procedure. So we did a blood test first. We had the anesthesia for the actual procedure. We had the cost of the desexing. He also had 2 puppy teeth. Joey also had his back dew claws removed. So dew claws, all dogs have front dew claws. So if you look at a dog's feet, they have their little claws, and then up a little bit on their leg, they have another little claw, and that's pretty much like their thumb. And every dog has them on their front 2 legs, but their back 2 legs, they don't typically have it. And when they do get born with it, what usually happens is that little claw is just attached to the skin, but it's not actually attached to any bone. And so it kind of just hangs there. It can be like moved around in a full circle, and it presents a bit of a hazard where your puppy could be running, it gets caught in something, and then completely rips off one day. So for the back hind dew claws, if you do have it on your dog, usually the vet's going to recommend just to remove it when they get desexed, just to reduce the possibility of them accidentally ripping it off in the future. So Joey had the 2 back dew claws, and we removed those. The difference between the back dew claws versus the front dew claws is the front dew claws are attached to bone. So you would never remove the front dew claws unless there was some reason why your vet recommends it, but those are actually attached to bone. They are the same as the rest of your puppy's claws, but the hind dew claws, when they're just attached to skin, they're like imagine a little growth coming off the side of the skin that is really flimsy, really delicate, and can very easily be ripped off. So we had that done. There was also some suture material involved. We had the pain relief, and then that was everything for Joey's desexing. So that whole entire invoice came to $966.62. However, because we have the Best for Pet program, so that wellness program that's $45 a month, because of that, we got the blood test for free. We got the baby teeth removal for free. We got 10% off the desexing fee, 10% off the hind dew claw removal, and we got his pain relief for free. So we actually saved $409.26 on that invoice and actually only paid $557.36. So that was the next big invoice Joey had. What happened a couple of weeks after his desexing is Joey started having some diarrhea, and it was quite persistent. Joey had it. My other dog had it. My parents' dogs had it. So we at first thought it was something viral going around. So the next time we went to the vet, we had to pay a consult fee for Joey, which is $98. And then we got him some probiotics and some antibiotics just to help him with that diarrhea. That invoice was $150. Then that didn't work. It continued for Joey. So we went back again to do another dose of his antibiotics. So it was another consult fee, another round of antibiotics. So it was another $150 for that. Then, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that this has not stopped yet. We are in beginning of March, and we're still struggling with this whole diarrhea issue. So this was back in January. At the end of January, we did another round of his antibiotics. That didn't work. So we were back at the vet again, another consult, some other medication to try. And then with that round, that was $82.69. But then we decided, the vet told us to extend it another few days. So that was an additional $49.29. And then there was another dose in February. Like, this was just ongoing. Pretty much just imagine every 1 to 2 weeks, we were back at the vet and we were getting just different sort of medications to try and help him. Sorry, that's coming through again. That is so annoying. It was, consult after consult, medication after medication until the 13th of February, where we had gone through all the antibiotics. And so what we did is we actually sent Joey's poo sample off to the labs to get tested so we could have a look at what's going on, because the typical antibiotics that the vet will use to address not antibiotics, like the medication to combat diarrhea, wasn't working. So we sent off a sample of his poo to the lab, which cost $543. It came back saying there was a couple of bacteria in his poo. Puppies can pick this up from eating contaminated grass, water, food, licking another dog's poo on a walk, anything like that. So it came back with a couple of bacteria, nothing too concerning, but the antibiotics we'd had Joey on should have killed and removed that bacteria, but it hasn't. So that was $543 for that test. We have since gone back to the vet again, and now we are doing a complete diet change for Joey to see if he has developed some kind of sensitivity to the food that he was previously on. And he was on this food for months and he was fine. But sometimes over time, a puppy can become sensitive to something. It's like how for humans, maybe you were fine eating gluten your whole life and then you developed a sensitivity later on in life. The same thing can happen with puppies. So now we're doing a diet change. That's where we're currently at to see if that works. And if it doesn't work, then what we'll be doing is we'll be getting a specialist in to maybe do an ultrasound, and the vet said maybe even a possible biopsy to see what's going on. But hopefully we don't get to that point. That's where we're up to. So we had 3 different consult fees of $98 each. We had the poo sample being sent away for $543. We had all of those different rounds of medications, probiotics and antibiotics. And now we've gotten to the end of it. We're on March 3rd today is when I'm recording this. And the total amount of money we have spent on Joey from when he was 8 weeks old up until 8 months old, including his desexing, has been $2,432.93. However, thank goodness we have pet insurance, because on every single invoice we get to have savings. So we saved $409.26 straight away for the desexing procedure, which was wonderful. We got those $280 worth of vaccines for free. We got those 3 consultations worth $98 each for free. And then for his antibiotics, his probiotics, the poo sample that went off and got tested, we only paid $100 for all of that. And then we got 90% back on the rest. So we ended up for all of those tests and medications, we actually only spent $179.31. So if we add up what I've actually had to pay, and we take that off the total amount of those invoices, what it has given us is a savings of $1,696.26. So from those invoices, you can immediately see that we have pretty much saved half our money, which is wonderful. But we then have the question of, okay, how much have you spent, Tiana, on your insurance and your Best for Pet program? And how much was your overall savings? So we've got 2 numbers now. I have saved $1,696 throughout all of Joey's vet appointments. If you remember what I said earlier on, we've done 6 months for pet insurance and the Best for Pet program, and that has cost me $872.58. So what that has given us a total savings of, if we take off the amount we've saved versus what we've paid, we have saved $823.68. So for Joey's life so far, his pet insurance and his wellness plan has 1,000% been worth it. We have saved a lot of money. And one of the things you have to consider, because obviously not every puppy has all of this diarrhea that Joey has been having. Of course not. But you know what happens? Some puppies get really sick from eating something they shouldn't. I had literally as a friend the other day, and they have a puppy, and we were out, they had a pet sitter looking after him, and the dog ate a sock. And, the foreign abdominal surgery, which is when they have eaten something they shouldn't, and then you have to go in surgically to remove it, that is literally thousands of dollars. So things happen with puppies. It might not be what Joey has, but usually there is some cost that comes up. And so something really important to keep in mind is having that reassurance of knowing that if something happens to your puppy, that you are going to be able to afford their vet bills is just the most amazing peace of mind. I could think of nothing worse than being in a situation where your dog needs certain treatment that costs a certain amount of dollars, but you're in the position where you can't afford it, or you might have to compromise on the amount of treatment they get. And that is a horrible position to be in, because we want to make sure that we can always get our puppies back to full health as quickly as possible and give them anything they need at all. One of the things I always say to people wondering if they're going to get pet insurance is we have health insurance, we have, car insurance, we have home and content insurance, we have insurance for so many things. Our puppies are family members now. It just makes complete sense to have insurance for them as well. Some people prefer to go down the option of, rather than pet insurance, they prefer to just put money away into an account every month for their puppy. And this is a option, but what I like to say is sometimes the vet bills can add up really quickly if something happens early on in your puppy's life. Like they swallow a sock, like they break a leg, like they get a really bad virus and they need to go to the hospital to be hospitalized and be on fluids and all that. Those invoices, those bills add up really quickly. And healthcare costs for dogs, it's not cheap. It is expensive. And so let's say you decided rather than paying $100 towards insurance, you put $100 into an account. If I had done that for Joey, I definitely would not have saved up enough to have covered all of these different bills that he has. So that's why it's really important to consider pet insurance. I am a really big advocate for it. You can see here by these numbers that pet insurance has definitely been worth it for me and Joey. I have plenty of other dogs. They are all on insurance. No, they haven't been to the vet. And yes, I pay more for them each year in insurance than I do actually taking them to the vet and getting money back. However, I also know for a fact that when these dogs get older, that's when things start going a little bit more wrong and they need a lot more veterinary care, especially for cavoodles. Something that can happen that is really common and you can't fully be able to do DNA testing on it just yet is heart disease. And this is really, really common to cavoodles. My old cavoodle, Oscar, who passed away literally only a few weeks ago, he suffered from this condition, and he suffered with it from 10 years of age is when he was diagnosed, and he died at 17. So he had 7 years worth of cardiologist appointments, monthly big amounts of medications that he was on, different diets, it just added up so much. And if we hadn't have had our pet insurance from when he was young and we hadn't made sure that we stuck through it his whole life, it would have put us in a really difficult position because the cost of these treatments can get really, really expensive. So with your pet insurance, it is definitely worth considering. It has been definitely worth it for Joey. We have saved, like I said, where's my number? $823 over 6 months, as opposed to not saving that. And if we didn't have that pet insurance and we didn't have the wellness plan, remember, we would have actually paid $2,400 because we had those vaccinations. So it's a lot of money. And this is nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing Joey has had is out of the ordinary. It is so common. I used to work in a vet clinic and puppies coming in with diarrhea, vomiting, that is so common. Puppies always eat things they shouldn't. They are so curious. They sniff things they shouldn't. They lick things they shouldn't. Getting bacteria is so common. And so this sort of stuff happens. But Joey was on pet insurance. We had the wellness plan. We've saved money over 6 months. It's so worth it in my eyes. I will not be stopping pet insurance for any of my dogs anytime soon unless I become some millionaire and have a bunch of spare money sitting aside. But if you don't have that and you want to make sure that you do have the option to give your puppy the best care possible if they need it, pet insurance is the way to do it because they are going to cover majority of your invoices. Like I said, Trupanion is doing 90% coverage, which is amazing and so worth it. So I hope this episode has just helped shed some light on maybe just some of the common costs for having a puppy across their first 6 months of life, how much that costs, and then versus how much we have paid in pet insurance and his wellness plan. It's worth it in my eyes. Hopefully it's worth it in your eyes. I'm a big advocate for pet insurance. And again, if you are going down the route of looking into pet insurances, you're preparing to bring a puppy home and you want to have the confidence to know you're making the right decisions, and maybe you want to be able to talk to someone who's qualified, someone who has experience with cavoodles, and you want that coaching support through all of the decisions you have to make and then all of the training you have to do, my Cavoodle Puppy Planner program, that's what it's designed for. I become your Cavoodle puppy coach. I literally kept my dog Joey for the purposes of creating a program around the exact things I do with him. So I'll help you make the decisions on the pet insurance. I'll help step you through what to look for in all of the different policies. And then when you bring your puppy home, you'll get to speak to me every week for 4 weeks about any questions you have. The hand-holding reassurance is just so valuable, especially if you're a first-time puppy parent and you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling stressed. I will be there to help you every step of the way. The link to that program is in the show notes, or you can just Google the Cavoodle Puppy Planner program. It'll come up there, or Google my name, or Google Oodle Way. It's all there. I would love to welcome you into the program and help you on this journey of raising a Cavoodle. They are the best dogs in the world. Getting a puppy and getting a Cavoodle will be the best decision you ever make. We just have to make sure we are also making the best decisions we can for them, to ensure they can be healthy, happy, and really thrive forever. So yeah, that's this episode done. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you all next week for the next episode. This has been your Cavoodle coach, Tiana Karamais. I'll see you later. Bye.